All right, what's going on, BE3 world? We are live with another really cool edition of the Happy Agent podcast. And we have a really happy agent with us today, and it is Mandy Kaplan. And Mandy, I'm really excited to have you as a guest here today with us today because you've got a really cool story. And rather than me tell it, and I love your bio, and just from the moment, I think it's fun. We'll talk later about how you ended up coming to work here because I think it was kind of a cool story. But bring us to pre you working with the company, pre you in real estate. What's the Mandy story? What's your background? What's the story?
Well, I grew up my parents are both in the Air Force, and service was just big in our family. My mom fought in Desert Storm in the Gulf War, and she always taught us what she did was service. Like even though we were battling them, she served those people. So being humble and serving people and doing anything we possibly could to help people was really a big deal. So real estate, it never really occurred to me that you could really serve people. I didn't know what it was. So before you guys, I was just I got a receptionist job, and it was at a real estate brokerage. People met me, even other realtors, mortgage lenders, and were like, you should be an agent. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do all that. I just want to be, I just want to answer phones and like help people in that way. I
don't want to be one of them.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. Oh, let me watch this. I want to see what. So it was very cool. I'm glad that I went that avenue with it because I got to overhear and witness a lot of things that could go wrong in real estate. Everything that gets thrown at these agents and how they overcome it. So it was really just learning by observing, being on the inside. Kind of, you hear everything, you see everything. So it's like now I feel like I'm ready, and I've seen this happen before. Here's what we're gonna do. So it actually really helps my business in that way. But I always tell people I started at the bottom. I cleaned the bathrooms and worked my way up.
And then, all right. So from a receptionist role, when did you get your license? Did you have a license while you were a receptionist, or did you get your license while you were in a receptionist?
Not at first. I really did not know my own strength, I guess you could say. I just did what I was comfortable with, didn't really take the leap. But enough people drilled it into me, and I actually had, this sounds bad, but I had a realtor that wasn't awesome, and I ended up doing his whole job for him. And I was like, oh, I can't let this happen to people. I have to be that person that knows the laws and knows what to do and knows how to protect people so that what happened to me doesn't happen to somebody else. So that's really what made me take that leap, because I didn't want what happened to me purchasing my first house happen to anyone else.
I love it. I love the word you just used, because you didn't really yet know your own strength. And that's one of the first things I recognized in you when I first met you. Is like this, there's a lot more here that she understands or realizes yet, which is pretty cool. All right. So you kind of baby stepped into being in the business. So how did you kind of?
So I was still a assistant, and it was for a team, and they knew going into it that I did want to become licensed. And they were on board with that. So I was their licensed assistant for a couple weeks, and it was just like, nope, dove right in. Like people were flocking to me, friends that I've had for my entire life. And it would just seem like that was a better way for me to help people than be an assistant. You also get to know your strengths when you go through your journeys. And I always laugh with people. I'm like, I was a crappy assistant, but I'm a great realtor. Like an assistant doing like the envelopes, and that's not me. But really the laws and getting in and being fierce and helping people was more me. So it turned into the right decision.
But if you look at something though, at that time there was stability, right? There was stability in income. There was a job, right? You've got kids. And so there's got to be some doubt, fear, and anxiety into making the big leap into commission only, right? Right type of world. So what was going on in your mind during that period of time? Because I think that's a struggle a lot of people forget about. It's a big risk. I mean, it is.
Right? To have a consistent income, and then, when you've got, whether you have kids to feed or not, either way, to know that you have a consistent income, or this income is just based on what your productivity is going to be. That's definitely scary, but the risk I felt like it was worth taking for sure. So it was something that I just knew. You just kind of, I kind of had to take that step. But I don't know how to explain it. Like until you're in it, that feeling of let me just do it. What's the worst that could happen? This is the way I view things. Nothing is permanent, nothing. So you could move literally across the country. You could, take a new job, but that's not permanent. So if you don't make that leap, you 100% miss the shots you don't take. Who is that? Yogi Berra? Anyway, it's true. You will miss that shot because you didn't take it. Or you can take it, and then if it's really not what you felt it was going to be, go somewhere. I mean, Publix is always hiring, so or whatever. So there's really no risk. You just do it, and if it's awesome, then that's great. And if it's not awesome, you find something else that's awesome. That was my.
I think that mentality is what's almost required to be in business for yourself. Period. End of story. Because I think a lot of people, though, it's not even. I think they know they can go get another job. There's a lot of people that are just so afraid of the optics of what it'll look like to a friend or family member if they had to go get a job at Publix versus, that. And that holds a lot of people back. But the reality is your losses are your losses. My losses are my losses. So I don't really care what you think, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's not going to help me. And it's also, if anything, it's just going to hold me back. So I love that mindset. How long did it take you to get that first deal? Like when was that you take this leap, right? And then it's still like a bit of unknown of like, all right, can I actually do this? Can I make money at this? Can I support my family with doing this? So how long did that journey take?
I just believe in assuming the position. If that's what I wanted to be, I finally figured out I wanted to be a real estate agent, not just the assistant. I was the assistant and I just started jumping in. Oh, you need this done? I'll do that. Oh, you need that? I'll go meet them. And just jumping in and trying to be there, of course, humble. And if they're like, no, go sit down. But they weren't. They were open arms to that. And I just started taking over. And then it just became, well, then you do the business. It literally rose to that. So it was wonderful. So if you have the desire, I say, assume the position as if you're already. And how can that go wrong? I mean, unless it's not for you. And that's a whole nother thing. So
right, and you were kind of pacing the cage because for your personality and your strength and your ability to reach out and influence on social, right, for you to be a team member, right, and the shadow of somebody is a waste of talent, and when you didn't really know your own strength yet.
And people have told me that, and the other part of how I was raised was it's definitely just being very humble. So I don't have this ego where it's actually the opposite. So I guess it was, the way I view it is I was selling everyone I know short by not being the lead person that they can come to. And it drastically changed my business. Sorry, my little one. This is all part of
the same one.
Come here, little girl. Come here, baby girl. So it's drastically changed when I did become the frontline person. Hold on, sorry. Please don't do that. People came out of the woodworks. They're like, okay, well now you're going to do this. So we're going to have to edit that out. Come here, baby. Come here.
No, I love it. This is part of the beauty.
Yeah, this is it.
This is homeschooling. My kids have been on more appraisals and actually I got a call the other day from a client on Easter. I just wanted to let you know that we bought from you because you had your baby on your hip. And we were like, what an awesome mom. I was like, oh, God. Whereas my other team was like, you're not going to get business because they're your kids. And actually the contrary. I love you. Let's sit over here, honey.
So now, Mandy, that's the whole game of being happy, right? Right. To be able to say no or to be able to say yes with conditions is a luxury, right? And a lot of people.
It is.
Right. But it's also a struggle, right? Sometimes we try to balance it because Sam got a couple even smaller ones than that. And you just, it's tough sometimes because you do have to make those choices and the juggling is there. And especially as different stages, like my years are even older, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. 6 and 9, you might hear them screaming in the background. They're playing some game right now.
That's real life. And I mean, the way I view it is that Mike, you probably agree, Jeff, you too. it's overcoming more obstacles. Like what better, I used to tell people when I was a single mom, I'm like, what better, you should try a single mom, because there's not any time you're not doing 17 things at once, and you must master them or humans die. So it's like dramatic, but it's like, well, it's true. So any kind of and especially with the COVID, with everything we have now, homeschooling and everything. So,
well, they're part of the journey though, right? And so there's a lot of people who view their kids and view all these other things as being a distraction to the journey. I've always viewed them as they're part of the journey. They're the reason that we make a lot of the decisions we make, right? We all want to be influencers. Well, those little things are probably the biggest influencers in our life. And it never ends, right? My dad's still calling me, I think, and my mom still calls me daily to see how I'm doing and make sure I'm alive. And are you eating? Yes, I'm eating, Mom. I'm 23 years old, right? So, I think it's interesting, but if you embrace that, but it's tough, right? And it's obviously much different even now than it is, usually. But I think that's an interesting point, and it's probably a good segue. So, we have a lot of moms and dads watching that are trying to figure out how can I be a productive agent, right? Can I be a top agent and really make really good money in this business while also still having a life and still being a parent and maybe being a single parent? And you've lived it, right? And so what has that journey been for you? How have you been able to find the balance and still be really productive? Because you're one of the top agents in the area. How have you been able to hit that status while also having little ones to look after?
I think it's the high frequency that we must run at when we have kids. It's the chaos that we're accustomed to, and we make it work. It's really time management. Other than that, the time management and just really focusing on what people need. Like I have a couple clients right now that their most productive time, because of whatever reasons, and they have kids that are out of the house already, older. So, but their most productive time is about 10 p.m. So 10 p.m. rolls around and we are hard at work. And then I have another client apologizing to me at 8:30. I'm like, what do you mean? It's early. This is not late at night. So really, once again, serving your clients and their needs. I'm finding a lot of people, and I have a background in different sales as well. It's always like that evening mark after dinner, after dishes are done, everybody's kind of settled down. They're getting online and doing their online shopping. And so now it's real estate shopping. They're scrolling. And if their agent is still up, they're so excited. They apologize to me, but I'm like, no, they're like, oh, sorry to keep you up late. No. I'm on call 24/7. And I appreciate they are super sweet. Like if I'm my child received an award when school was in session. And they know I'll be out for an hour doing that. But then other than that, it's like you're on your phone and you can still work remotely anywhere and any time. So that's been a huge success. It just works out that everybody's busy nowadays, and their downtime, you just meet them at their downtime. And it just so happens that, I find maybe some mornings are quieter because those people are at work and they don't have time to focus on their buying or selling needs. But you best believe we're up until midnight if it's possible. It just works for me. It works for my clients thus far, and just being flexible in that and just shifting things around and just being adversity. Things are going to come up, and you just shift and be flexible, and it's all really good.
And I think the world shifted a lot too. That there's no reason to pretend that you don't have kids around, right? You embrace it and say, hey, look, I'm at the zoo. I'll be done at 11:30ish or so. How about I give you a call then?
Yeah. Cool. And people support that. People want to be a part of your story. When they know, they're like, oh, well, you're a top producing agent and you have a whole family and I don't, my kids, like we don't have a babysitter, to be a little personal. We're very family oriented. So it's very real. Like they're here, but, I actually have a hiding spot in the garage that I go into. Like if it's because you have to negotiate, and I can't be having this squealing. So you can go lock yourself away and get done what you need done. Just laughing at me.
Don't let them hear that. They'll find you.
Oh yeah, you're right. I hear like Willy Wonka, so I think she's in a chocolate factory somewhere right now.
Yeah, that'll keep her busy for.
So I hear it. So yeah, no, there's definitely ways. And the biggest thing that I thought was so cool is that your people near, far, on social, and even in your life, like they want to be a part of your success story. Like if you're working hard and you have kids and you're a good family, they want to be a part of that. They want to be a part of your success story. So I would definitely not think that because you have kids, it's going to hinder you. If anything, I think it's helped accelerate me. They can see, in this society, people are very different. They believe different things, but I think we can all agree kids are number one. Like we're raising the future, and providing for them is like number one. So when they see that that's your real goal, it's great to make a bunch of money, but when that's not your goal, when it's family and values, and people have wanted to be a part of that, and that's the coolest thing to me.
It's the human element.
Yeah.
Now,
right.
One of the things that I see, let's see if you can kind of just give people a little glimpse into what your world's like, because you share a lot, right? Your Facebook and your Instagram and your stories are awesome. They're entertaining, right? I find myself sucked into them, watching them. They're fun, right? So, but I mean, that's kind of the realness. I mean, it's just not real estate stuff. Rarely is it real estate stuff. It's your chalk off. Right. It's all the stuff that you're doing. So give us a glimpse into kind of why you do what you do and how you do what you do and what's kind of come from what.
A big thing is that I feel like people misunderstand or misuse social media. It can be whatever you want it to be, but what I've found success in is I use it like a scrapbook. I honestly, I didn't warn Jeff I was going to say this, but I don't have a business page. And I'm not saying that that's right, but the reason sorry, I also have dogs.
Yeah.
And it's the Chihuahua that's the worst. The reason I don't have a business page is because I use what has been successful for me is just using my personal page as a scrapbook. So people have been there for me through divorce, through being a single mom, the struggles there, the joy in meeting my now husband, and the family coming together. They've been through deaths. They've celebrated everything, because we like to celebrate everything in this life. But so they've really gone through everything with me. And my biggest thing that I want people to know is just to be genuine. It is you are a little vulnerable, and there's times when people might attack you for whatever reason, but when do they not? So it's a scrapbook. It's honest. And it's like your people know when you're not being genuine. Like if you're too salesy, or whatever, but that's just what's worked for me. My people know me. So I have to, I have to be authentic or it bombs. Hold on. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, that's why I go to the garage, because all of you.
We always say intent matters, right? And it really does, and it matters very much in a social world, because people forget we're living in a world where everything is exposed, right? So the whole the whole creating this fake persona. Sure, you could probably do it for a while, right? And there's people that do it. They rent the Ferrari. They,
that's a lot of work.
Fake Rolex and put it out on IG. But the reality is, people can read into that, and ultimately the truth always comes out. But I think for you, showing that you are authentic, you're you, and your story is your story, and being true to that, and not trying to play like it isn't, has really played very well for you in allowing you to have a lot of success from a social perspective. And you do a great job with it.
Thank you. And when we say it's allowed me to have success, I just want to point out that it has made people reach out that I haven't seen in 15 or 20 years, but they feel, and their words are, and they call. It's not just a text or like a message. That happens too, but specifically a friend that I hadn't seen in 20 years. She's, oh, I'm sorry. I hope this isn't weird. Everything that you post, it just makes me feel so close to you. It made me feel comfortable enough to just pick the phone up and call. Like, I know you're going to have my back. I said, 100%. That's why I do what I do. So being authentic, it opens you up to, so people, you're approachable. So people, are comfortable to pick up the phone and call. They feel like they talk to you every day is what they say. You're like, I feel like I had a whole conversation. I know your children. I know what they just ate or whatever, silly things. So,
well, it's attract, repel.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that's the ultimate thing. By putting yourself out there, you're going to attract people who are in line with that story, and anyone who's like, oh, I think she puts too much out there. Cool. See ya.
That's all right. Yeah.
You know,
and there's not everyone's for everyone, and that's totally fine. Like then the bougie with the Rolex, those kind of people, you can go to that. That's fine. That's better. So that's all right.
Yep.
See, that to me is the true happiness. Once you get to the point where you can say, this is me. Mm-hmm. This is how I live. This is what I do. This is how I talk. This is what I think. This is what I wear. And if you don't like me,
that's okay. Everybody's different, and guess what? That's okay. I really truly believe that. And so you being authentic and honest is very inviting, and and I found that it brings people more like you, so your transactions are better. There's no in my previous team, there was it was all strangers, so it was like a lot of proving who I was. And my head was spinning because I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm like the most honest person ever. So why am I, but they didn't know. They're questioning everything. Now, never. Not all year. I've been doing business with people I know, or somebody's mom. They refer me to their grandparents or what. So they all know, like, Mandy there's nobody that's going to have your back like her, because being a mom, you kind of tend to take everyone in. You become mama and you're protecting everyone. And so it just comes across that way with social too.
One thing I've also noticed that's working really well for you is kind of figuring out where you want to be, right? From a niche and from a market perspective, because it's hard to be everything to everyone, right? Right. And your husband, your family business now has a very successful parasail business in John's Pass, right? You guys are fantastic. And really live in the beach lifestyle, right? Posting all of that and just kind of attracting that. And you can't fake it. You just are it. Right? And so how important is kind of it goes back to being authentic, right? It's just knowing what you are. Now, you can't pretend to be the Queen of Westchase because you're just not. And you don't have to be. And
that's okay. Everybody, you stay in your lane. I cannot... I'm a testament to that. When someone's trying to fit you into a mold that's just not you, it's just, it's a totally different business. So then when you're in your own lane, it is beautiful. So everyone needs to find whatever their lane is, or test out waters and find your lane. And then you can't go wrong. You can't.
So how did we connect?
Well, you know what I'm going to say then. I saw on Facebook, there's this guy standing on all these rooftops. I'm like, what the heck? I want to do that. And I went to the team I was with. I was like, guys, can we do that? Oh, no, I got blown off. So I'm like, So then I went and talked to the guy who's on the rooftops, and now I can be a part of all that. Like you said, we own and operate a business in Madeira Beach, John's Pass. So I'm like, I got to be a part of that. I got to be in with this. So it was like a no-brainer to me.
I love it. And
that's our content at work, right? I mean, and that was ultimately our goal. And it's the reason that I love the fact that we have the content, because whenever I'm talking to a potential agent, it's, hey, listen, I'm going to talk with you. We're going to explain how we approach it, but I don't want you to just take my word for it. Over the last 2 years, we've created hundreds of pieces of content that show you exactly our approach to real estate, exactly what we believe. You're going to get to see Jeff and kind of get to know what he's about. You're going to get to see Craig and know what he's about. You're going to get to see some of the management team. You're going to know what I'm about. So go watch it, right? This is no BS. Go watch for yourself. And if you like what you hear, great. Then we're going to be a fit, right? But there's no faking it. There's no me selling you this dream just for you to come over and find out that it's not anything you wanted. That's why we really started doing the content 2.5 years ago. Was, hey, let's put it all out there, right? Yeah. And we're going to attract some, and we're not. And for that very reason, it took one video for you to see Jeff almost fall off a roof to, come over. So,
I'm like, what the heck? I want to do that. What? Yeah.
All right. So what is the driver for you now? So we just got the notification, again, top agent in the office over here. We're the top agents in the marketplace. So what's the driver? What is happiness to Mandy now?
It is literally me helping people through the biggest transaction of their life. I used to be in finance in the car business, and I used to tell people, this is the second largest transaction of your life. Thank you for choosing blah, blah, blah. And it was wonderful. I loved it. But then this is just in so many ways more me. There's ways that I have a passion for fighting for what's right. I feel like that's also been passed down from my parents. So it's just who I am. So you get to use all of that in this, and that's my way of helping people. Everybody has their gift and their position of knowledge, whatever their career is, like, even the garbage men or to the doctors, to anybody, one person can't do it all. So we all have to respectfully stay in our lane, and that's how we can help people. And that's my way of helping people and navigate them through this, because it is terrifying to many people and confusing. But knowing I do this all the time, all day, every day, like, we're good, I got you, so it's my way of helping. And it's putting families together. I've created the website Mandy Moves Florida, because I'm moving people, whether it's families together or, like, I have a family right now. There's 3 parts to this, and they all want to move to the same little town in South Carolina. So I found them agents there moving along here. So it's all part of, like, to me, that's helping a family. And so that's my joy.
You obviously love helping people. That's the service mentality from your parents and from the military influence is awesome. And protection is huge too. Because I know when we talk about contracts and deals and issues, the underlying theme of all the questions you typically always ask about is, how do I protect them better, right? Mm-hmm. What are we going to do for them? And that's the agency that kicks into you and the mama bear and the mama shark, the protector mentality that no one's going to get into my clients. And I think that really comes off well. More in depth and maybe a little personal on it. What are the goals? I know you like the way that you protect and you serve. But what are you trying to do from your family perspective? I mean, we just came out of a really tough spot, right? With COVID, totally shutting down the other family business down to a screeching halt, 0 income, right? And it makes you think about stuff like, what if, right? So you start thinking about options. So what are some of the family goals that you're working to create, to bring to you and to Chaz, to the kids, to just your life, right? What puts a big ass smile on your face lifestyle wise? I think you guys are in the process of doing a couple of them right now. So why don't you give a little glimpse into that?
Well, it's cool because we just talked about this again last night, and one day I'm sure it'll be that grind, and I'll probably double my sales even more in a grind when I have children who are not at my ankles. But being able to be a mom to small children that are at your ankles and still very much want to be with you every 5 seconds is just so beautiful. But being able to help other people and support that kind of a lifestyle for your babies, that's the greatest joy to me I could even imagine. So I'm able to be present and give them literally what they want is attention. Yes, the other goal is we are buying a house, and I promised my babies I'd buy them a house with a pool. So that's wonderful, but what they really want is parents who are present, and I'm able to do that at the same time of helping people like that. To me, that's the coolest gift ever. And so, and bring other families together, and these clients, they become like family and friends because you help them during a major time in their life. And sometimes it's the most like terrifying time in their life. So that's the greatest gift about this to me. And that's where I'm at now. That's my lane. Chaz and I talked about one day, maybe the lane will be, more of a grind and, structure. Right now, it's anytime. It's 24 hours, 24/7. I tell my clients, I do not have business hours. If my eyes are open, I'm awake, I'm doing real estate.
And that works out because there's a lot of times when you're not and you're able to hang out with the kids and do that. And I think it's cool because what they really want is spend time with you and Chaz in the pool. Right. So that's what's going to be good.
And on the boats, like there's been plenty of times I'm on the back of the boat balancing and negotiating. Actually, the biggest deal in my career was that way. So 2 of them. So it's like it's doable, and it's absolutely possible to do it all with kids or without. No judgment either way, but it's absolutely possible to do it all.
So what advice do you have for those that are watching that? It looks like, how does she do it? She's got it all put together. She's got this, that, and the other. and they're beating themselves up a little bit, and it doesn't seem right or normal. And how do you juggle it? What's the advice to agents that are trying to figure a way to make it all work, to find the balance? What's been kind of the secret that's worked for you? That's our last closing thought, I think.
It's got to be time management. It's got to be self-love as well. Like you guys, I really like when I came to your brokerage and you wrote out your goals. So that was good. So you find your goals and then find a way to get there. And then if you don't know, if you're not sure, Jeff has been wonderful to help with that, to get you to your, there's ways. And literally, I'm thinking in my mind of a graph. There's a way to get you to your goal. It's very overwhelming. A lot of us get stopped up from the anxiety of it, and that's your biggest issue, is you stopping you. If you just remain true to yourself, and if you're not even sure, because maybe in your journey you're not really sure how to be authentic, you're not sure yet with that, just stick to your values. And if someone's telling you that they're not, that your values aren't good enough, or that you're not, that's just, then you need to move. You're not a tree. You're not planted. Move.
I love it. Mike, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I think, anyone who's watching this, because we have agents that are brand new. We have agents that are, we're productive, but trying to figure out, how do I get to that next level? And so if you're watching this, I think the biggest thing to take away from someone like Mandy is that the only limitation ever in your life is whatever you're going to put on yourself, but also having the confidence to say, you know what, I don't want to go do that. I don't want to do that right now. I want to go in the pool with the kids, and being okay with that, right? Not feeling the judgment because you're not working every second of every day, and being flexible. So, I hope that's the takeaway for most of you, because she does that better than most agents at least that I've come across. And
I want to tell you how. Can I interject there?
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, the how is because it takes 4 seconds. Some people think they apologize. Oh, sorry to bother you. You're not bothering me. I know your question, and because I try to remain 2 steps ahead. That could be because I started as an assistant and watched everyone for the last almost decade. If I know if you tell me what your problem is, I fix it, and then I get back in the pool. Your whole day isn't stuck inside on a computer. You can do, and I just say the pool because you brought that up, or whatever it might be. I do tend to, and my babies know, hold on a minute, mama's working. Put that down and then go continue. So there's a way to do it all. You don't really have to make a choice.
That's important. I was happy to touch on that too. Say, wait a second, mama's working real quick, right? I know I have to do that sometimes, and they appreciate that. I think they get that, and they know that mom will be right back, right? If it takes a 4-minute phone call, I'll be right there. And the respect and the appreciation and knowing that this is just how the family flows.
Exactly.
Right? But there are people though that judge themselves for that.
It's true.
My wife is amazing human being, but that was something she had to work through early on when we had our first one, is she felt guilty about everything. Like if she didn't give him 100% of her attention, she felt like she was letting him down.
No, it's
and
true.
To the point where it takes a huge toll. Like it really did. And finally, I had to push her. She would not go to the gym because she felt guilty walking out the door. And it takes a toll on every aspect of your life, because that ultimately makes her less happy, right? And we're never our best selves if we're not finding and getting fulfilled internally. And so ultimately that was a big push. And I think a lot of parents go through that, and especially moms, just because you have that motherly nature to you. And so finally I pushed her out the door, and she absolutely loves that, right? She loves, obviously not now, but she loves that hour and a half that she gets at the gym by herself. And she doesn't feel guilty about it anymore. You have to have it. Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
You were going to add to that? You add anything to that, Mandy?
Did you want me to encourage people, because there's a lot of agents that are on a team, and they've been on a team for a long time, and they're just terrified of that jump.
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah. Let's not yet, but definitely do that, because I think that was a huge turning point for you. That was scary, but you internally knew that, I love your analogy, you can move, you can go back, nothing's permanent. and just get as somebody who's got your back with you. Yeah, please touch on that.
Yeah. So I was a part of a team, and that was a great start. I think teams are a great start if you don't have already, well, let's just say you don't have any clue what you're doing. I don't know. So it's a great way to, I actually encourage my friends who are thinking about real estate, be an assistant first. Listen to all of the good, bad, and ugly, and see if you want to be a part of that, or if you can help in any way, if you feel like that's for you. So that's what I did. And eventually it was handed to me to do everything. A good solid, what he used to say was 80% of the business. So then it got to the point where it just makes more sense for you. I think every team lead should understand probably that eventually, that person moves on and they go on their own. So that's what I ended up doing. Now that was terrifying. So many of these agents, local agents, are wonderful, and they're asking me, how did you do that? I'm like, well, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And the sole way that I did that was 100% of my business comes from Facebook. They're friends that I grew up with across the state or here, or their family members or their mothers or, whatever. And it's just being genuine. It takes you back to that authenticity and being approachable in that way. Now, Facebook is not for everyone. I spoke to one of our agents in our office. She is amazing. She works at a different location that has to do with rentals. So I told her, now, don't listen to my niche. Like, that's mine, my Facebook. But for you who never goes on Facebook, if you just go on social media now out of nowhere, people are going to know that you're just trying to sell them something. But being a true friend and helping where she's at, she can turn a lot. If people are renting and they're into buying, hello, perfect for her, So that's another reason why it's important to find your lane or your niche. And then now I'm rambling and I don't remember where I was going with that.
It's perfect. It's not for everybody. Find your niche is the key. And if you're not comfortable, I think you hit it right. If you're not a personable person, like I bet you back in high school, you were very much the same personality as you are right now. You haven't changed to turn into some real estate salesperson mode. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And you just happen to have skills as a badass real estate agent that you're really good at what you do. So they like you, they trust you, and now they know that you're good at what you do. So it's the perfect deadly combination. And so when real estate is happening in your world, you make yourself unforgettable because you're in the feed multiple times a day. And on purpose, it's your scrapbook for your personal life to look back through when the baby's on your ankles. But as a side benefit byproduct of it, you're creeping in everybody's mind nonstop. So when they're walking around and they hear somebody talking about real estate, it's you need to call Mandy. And it's just repeat referral business is what's just going to keep growing and growing.
That's it. But back to the team, if you feel like, if you're feeling for a while now, you've been with them a while, I can just be completely honest. I doubled my income. I mean, it's all percentages. So I literally doubled my income. So now I don't have to work for strangers. Like the old team was paying thousands in marketing and I don't pay anything. I talk to my friends and family, and that's how I get business. So, agent to agent, I encourage people, absolutely go on your own or begin. One agent was saying she doesn't really communicate that much with her people. I said, then start and have it be nothing about real estate either. You're not trying to sell them something. You're just trying to be present. And that's the way to do it. And you will double your income. And then you're going to look back 100% of the time and say, oh my God, I probably stayed a little too long, but that's okay. Cause that was all part of the journey. But going on your own, and it was terrifying. My husband helped me with that leap. He was ready before I was, but once you take that leap, I promise you will not look back. You did the right thing. And then your people are more comfortable using you because they don't know who that other face was, that team lead's face. They don't know that person. They want to use you. So now on all the marketing and all the posts, it'll all be you. They want you. So you need to be their go-to, and don't be afraid.
I love it, Mandy. That is awesome. There's a lot of agents that are in that boat right now.
I know.
That's the next step. So I think you're a very, very good inspiration. And I think it's got to be noted that you work really hard, right? And you post nonstop, and you're a fantastic agent. Your testimonials are amazing. We're really proud to have you on the team. So
thank you guys. I adore you all. I can't thank you enough. And through all this, like COVID and everything, like it's easy to think, oh, are we going to just like be forgotten? No, you guys send emails. I love you all, miss you all. Like, what the heck? That's so nice. All of our managers, and you guys are still with the trainings, and it just helps us feel so connected. It's a huge deal. So thank you guys, all of you.
Thank you very much. Go take care of those babies. And
who knows where she is by now? No.
Mandy, thank you so much. You're an inspiration to a lot of people. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for being on, Mandy.
See you later.
Thank you. Bye.